Welcome to the Super Essential Guide to Drop Bag Planning. Now, if you haven't already, a good place to start are videos parts 1 through 3 on race planning, where you could find how I got the plan right here in front of me. Now, since I made those videos, I went ahead and I simplified this plan down to as if I was just doing the 100-miler. You may recall I'm actually doing the 135, but I shortened it, and this is going to be as if I only had these 4 drop bags right here. So here I've gone and taken a jumbo size 7.6 liter Ziploc for each of my drop bags. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I also have one for the start, which I recommend you do as well, especially if you're doing an out-of-town race. Now I want to show you Lee's drop bag right here. Lee also has a 7.6 liter drop bag here. However, she's not going to be putting a bunch of little bags in a duffel bag. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have one giant duffel bag because this is a loop course, and this is where it's going to be different. Because it's a loop course, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start by planning this as if it was not a loop course. This is exactly right here what you see before you, all these bags laid out. How I do it if I'm doing a point-to-point, and all of these drop bags are going to be at completely separate locations. It's the exact same planning method that I do. The only difference is because it's a loop course, I'm going to take each of these bags at the end and stick them inside one big duffel bag, which will serve as my main drop bag. However, it's all going to be split up and organized so I know exactly what I need and when. Lee's doing things differently, and she's just going to go ahead. This is, I think, just an emergency drop bag that she's going to have over at Shorty's Brothel. And this right here is usually how you want to design the bag. I mean, you can use any kind of drop bag you want, but you're pretty much always going to want that name of the aid station on there, your last name, and then the bib number is going to go right here. Often the bib number is not assigned until right before the race, however, so it's always a good idea too to bring a marker with you out of town. You will find that comes in handy, especially when they're late to assigning the bib numbers. So if I was doing a point-to-point, instead of simply having the 1, 2, 3, 4 on these bags here, I would have them designed like this right here. That would be the main difference. So you can see that, and that's how that would look for a point-to-point. Alright, so speaking of big bib numbers, let's take a look at how to do that. We're going to go to Ultra Sign up to the race page, Outlaw in this case. Select that. We're going to see that hamburger menu over in the right-hand side there. We're going to click on that, and then we're going to go to Entrance on the menu here. Now you can see the green squares next to the registrants' names. Those green squares to the left will actually have the bib numbers inside of them if the bib numbers have been assigned. So the bib numbers have not been assigned yet. Here's the 100-miler registrants, so it's not assigned for them either. Now I can keep checking back, but most often the RDs end up sending out an email to let you know that the bib numbers have been assigned. However, like I said, a lot of times that does happen after you've already left town for the race if you're traveling to your race, so it's a good idea to have that Sharpie so you could update your drop bags with your bib number. If you don't, though, no big deal. They'll probably have a Sharpie at the race start where you go and drop your bags off. Chances are that the volunteers will have them. Alright, so we have our start bag and our drop bags prepared. But before we go any further, we need to start with the number 1 rule of drop bag planning. Rule number 1. Always plan your drop bags as if you have no crew. Period. There are no exceptions to this rule. I don't care what your plan for pacers and crew are. You need to pack your drop bags as if you have none at all. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but my crew is very reliable. It doesn't matter. Life happens. Flat tires happen. Sickness happens. Getting lost happens. All sorts of things happen. I was at a race recently, Cloud Splitter to be precise, and there was this older, sweet lady who came running up to the aid station saying, excuse me, did this runner come through? And the volunteers were like, well, yes, he came through, and he already left. And it turned out what happened was this older sweet lady was the runner's mother. and she had to use the bathroom, and this aid station did not have any bathrooms. Now, this was not a shit-in-the-woods kind of lady, right? So, having to use actual facilities, she got in her car and drove to the next aid station to access them. Of course, while she was using the facilities, happened to be when her runner came through the other aid station, and she was meant to be crew for her son. So she totally missed him, and the volunteers had no mercy on this woman because she was like, well, how was he looking? Was he looking okay? And they were like, no, he was rough. He left her rough. Yeah, he left her really rough. So don't let that be you. Do not DNF your 100 because you were relying too much on crew. You are working so damn hard for this. Don't make that mistake. It's going to be great if your crew shows up. Consider that a huge bonus, but you need to pack these bags as if they're not going to be there. Assume the worst. All right, now that we got that out of the way, and I have thoroughly scared you, we're going to take a categorical approach to drop bag planning. I've broken it down into the following elements: nutrition, hydration, electrolytes, foot care, skin care, tummy management, general pain management, layers, electronics, and miscellaneous.